Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Brightworks. I hope you're a fan of some high-level Beyond All Reasons, because that's exactly what I got for you. This isn't even high-level. This is the very top of the top. Today, we've got for you just an all-around assortment of various skills of players, but all of them are well above 30, much beyond my own skill level, so as much a learning experience for me as I hope it can be for you. Super excited to watch these guys throw down. Before we get right into this on today's episode, I just wanted to really quickly give a shout out. I'll flash a little graphic here on the screen to the September 1v1 Pro League tournaments that are going to be running. My man Barcast TV is going to be running all of those. So if you'd like to see some of these, some pros go head to head in 1v1 matches, I feel like 1v1 you really get to see an individual player shine, and 8v8 you get more of that creative side. But anyways, if you'd like to check that out, I will have a link in the description below that you can click on if you'd like to sign up and participate. Go have a lot of fun. Even if you're not a pro, it's open to everybody. So if you just want to go hang out, you want to have a great time playing some bar against some of the lovely members of the Beyond All Reason community, feel free to click that link down below and it'll take you right to that page. There's also going to be a Discord link down there if you'd be interested in joining up the official Brightworks Discord, and would love to have you. Anyways, today's match is going to be played on River Run, and these guys are already off and at each other's throats. You can see Sabotai, the red team leader here, spawning on the middle mountain, already with 3 ticks out across the board. Flash mirroring that build, although he went 2 ticks, and then a Lazarus, a Resbot here, also getting some ticks. Now, on this map, there's only one place for ticks to cross, and it's this little bridge right here. It's the only water that is thin enough that ticks can run across here. So nicely done for Sabotai, as well as Flash, who is the blue team leader here on the eastern side, to get those ticks out and try and do a little bit of damage. I don't have much time to talk. I had to fit all that in very quickly because I know that these guys are going to get to fighting as soon as possible. They're not one to stand around and throw words at each other. They're more into the, get the action going right away. Ticks looking for an angle here. They're not going to find it though. There's not really much. I did spectate this match earlier, so you might see my name flashing around right there as in the spectator thing. I watched this match and I just knew that I had to cast it because it's a great example of some really high level gameplay. That was a nice pick, by the way. Did take out the Lazarus here. That's annoying for Flash to have to rebuild that. Already has enough build power to pump out units here, but yeah, he's gonna have to build another one. Just a little hit, but it is quite annoying here. Now, rovers are the vehicle counterpart to the Tick. Both Cortex and Armada have a light vehicle, a light scout vehicle, like the Rover or the Rascal. Rovers being for Armada and Rascals being for Cortex. And those are capable of trudging through the waters here and crossing the stream. So if you're going to be going for vehicles on this map, which you definitely should, it's definitely a very vehicle-centric map, you're going to still have access to some sort of scout that's able to penetrate the enemy lines here. But it's a little bit more costly. It takes a little more energy, as do all the vehicles, really. They're just balanced in that direction here. Rover aggression. It's funny, I'm like seeing myself trace out the steps of where all this aggression is. In case any of you were wondering, I essentially do the same thing as when I'm spectating, for these videos, as when I'm just spectating in the lobbies. I'm sure we're gonna find ourselves looking at, well, ourselves all the time here, the Royal Hour, aka me. Neza down south here already has plenty of pawns, moving up to the front lines, going to try and hold at this mountain, no doubt. This mountain is a really strategic point here. It has that geothermal and those metal extractors, but also it gives you a wide firing angle out into this area, which can be a really powerful zone to contest, and it can shut down the green players. It can really deny them a whole lot of control over the middle of the map here, this central zone. A couple of metal extractors went down here. It looks like 1, 2, maybe 3 metal extractors have gone down to these rovers, so that is definitely their value's worth. Well worth sending those across. They could probably snipe a few more here. Yeah, nicely done. It just goes to show it. Chisato bringing out these rovers and just showing us exactly how powerful they can be. A little self-destruct micro there to blow up that rover. That's quite nice. Chisato is doing a great job of parking these rovers a little bit further back so that they don't self-destruct here. You can see the attack radius is still rather small though, so it's not like it can really bother being too far back. Ian trying to push far forward here, but he's kind of overexposed himself, and now you can see that the rovers are just going to take advantage of that commander being out of position, no units whatsoever, because they were all cleaning up the backline here, which has continued to be ravaged. 2 more or 3 more metal extractors go down over there. And yeah, that's a whole lot of rovers that are now pushing across the map here. Pesky little wheeled little RC cars. It's kind of what they remind me of. The little toy RC cars you can find in supermarkets and other random places. They seem a little out of place, but they're like 20 bucks, and you just know that they're gonna break as soon as you pull them out of the box. On a side note, those are an excellent source of short-range radio receivers. I use those in tons of rover projects, building my own little rover bots and stuff as a high school kid. Anyway, rovers here, continuing to be blasted down now by some pawns, and plenty of rovers brought out by Ian. Not going to be losing all too much today. 2 metal extractors, and it looks like a radar tower going down to those rovers. Not the end of the world whatsoever. This is a very wide angle to be holding right here, so Nazah is going to have to go for a composition that can match that. Right now, he's chosen to go for speed over range, and I think that's a good choice. I think that speed is going to allow him to attack and pressure and relieve pressure wherever it's most necessary, rather than just being forced into these lengthy back and forth siege engagements, right? It's a few too many units split away to deal with this one. I would have liked to see maybe 2 or 3 peeled away off this force. Oh, but none is also not great here. Yeah, a couple of these pawns are looking to run by. This one is already queued into the base of Ian. Whoa, big aggression right here. Looks like Flash was in the right position here. There's a lot of pawns looking to get a real feisty over here. Those are coming out of Bar AI, who's in the back lane here. Doesn't have a lab anymore, so I guess he just made a bunch of units and then ate it up to go and do a little bit of eco here. Nice pawn aggression, running the pawn on through. He'll get a metal extractor for it. Pawns cost 48, so you're basically breaking even on the metal extractor, but it going down is really where the cost is. It's going to take a second for that metal extractor to come back up online. You can see Ian right on top of it, though, not letting it stall him out all too long at all. Laser Tower contributing a little bit of firepower. Laser Towers rank up real quick when they're blasting away at commanders. Technically, everything ranks up really quickly when they're blasting away at commanders, but Laser Towers are where you can really see it pronounced. And yeah, you can see Chisato is now brought down to 54%, very, very low. Excellent run by here. We have Captain Panda, who is the lobby leader for this match. Moving a couple of pawns through, catches a Janus, spreading out the pawns, making sure that they're running in a formation that does not make them bunch up. Very, very important to counter those Janus. It'll kill one of them, but the remaining 4 or 5 or however many will manage to stay alive here. Eventually, the blitzers are going to take a decent trade. The pawn still keeps running. Up and into the air he goes. What a hero. Contorting his body all over the place. Another hero pawn broke off from the pack, and it was not expected, and now Raiko is going to have to deal with that as well. There's so much aggression all over the map. Haven't even been looking up north here. It looks like Ro is going for a whole bunch of rocket bots here, going to be trying to pester away from across the little ocean river delta thing. Whatever. Words. Random words. Fill in the blanks. Nice little slippage of grunts here, leaking through the lines. Going to eventually be cleaned up by Aphis Max 675. That's dangerous. Those wind turbines going down, that can really shut down your production real quick, especially if they chain react off each other. Now, I would expect most of these players are very familiar with how not to chain react all your units. Flash in a little bit of trouble here. Doesn't have enough energy for D-guns. Oh, 1% on that commander. Down to about 60 health there from well, basically full health there. That was close. That was remarkably close here. 4 pawns could certainly kill this commander. Oh, he needs to heal it. He's got the commanders out. Oh, by the way, disregard me talking in the chat. I was having a lovely conversation with some of these folks in chat. I guess you get the inner monologue and the outer monologue of the Brightworks if you're reading the chat while paying attention here. But there's a lot to pay attention to, so definitely keep your eyes on the screen. We've got the laser towers holding the line down here, but we do have the rocket bots, and those are eventually going to start whittling away. Now, Nazah has gone for that forward vehicle bait. This is very, very, very common build. It's very good for getting those long-range artillery units that can siege up from behind your static defense rather than having to expose themselves like these rocket bots here, for instance. It's a very, very powerful tech transition here. Tech addition, I should say. Yeah, it's not really a transition. He still has the bot lab. Oh, he does not have the bot lab. I should have checked before I said that sentence. Nazah, I guess, has produced as many bots as he was hoping for. Oh, Commander went down right there in the middle of the map. Wasn't expecting that. Looks like it's going to be Ian's Commander. He held the line as well as he could, and there's a missile truck out, but one missile truck does not a composition make, and that is going to be blasted to pieces by a lot of these units moving forward here from Chisato as well as Raiko. Both of which are looking to take advantage of this massive opportunity path that's right into the heart of the red team here. You can see that our yellow player has gone up to T2, he teched in the backline, and is now getting some of those hounds out. Eventually, if those are in their Gauss mode, they're gonna have a really easy time shutting down Blitz's tanks, any of those lighter T1 units, but for the time being, that's a lot of units that are leaking through this hole right here, and it needs to be patched ASAP. Raiko eating up that metal wreckage, and he's going to be able to afford a full T2 transition. He's already got the T2 lab, but he's gonna be able to afford that constructor. Is on a little bit of trouble here. Commander is real low. Those rocket bots contributing a large amount of firepower, but still holding his own. It looks like there was a massive engagement here. Lots of laser towers have found their death, and this is not looking good. Couple of pop-up lightning turrets here. That's quite nice. Sorry, one pop-up lightning turret here. That's quite nice. Meanwhile, the base for our pink hero has been completely ravaged. Ian is down and out for the count. We have we have one constructor left, the lone constructor over here. That's going to be a lengthy time to rebuild. Not what we were looking for. Definitely some excellent aggression here by Raiko, pushing far forward enough to seize that or shut down that player right there and granting him a large opening in the middle of the map right here. Raiko of all things has, or of all people, Raiko is not a thing, sorry about that. Raiko of all people has captured this hill. That's a little bit surprising to me because I really would have figured Nazah would have gone for that, but I suppose with the with Screwish pushing pretty far forward here, Screwish also a very experienced player. Yeah, it's going to be really difficult to go up this ramp without getting cut off by the enemy forces moving in this direction. There are units still moving around. There is still units that have leaked through. A couple of blitzes will be split up here. Going to be so difficult to chase those down. Really is quite a pain. Yeah, and this blitz in the backline can be quite annoying. That goes double for this one over here, both of which are going to start ravaging these bases. We also have some more leaking on through from Raiko. This is a really huge push. This could certainly be the game. John Hunter gonna be backing off here. Looks like he killed a commander. Looks like that was Red Panda? No, Preteric. Preteric's commander there. Sorry, jumping around with the commander. I'm looking for the, there they are. Bunch of blitzes. Saw him on the minimap and I wanted to jump over to him. A couple of blitzes that are continuing to run through. There's enough hounds out now that I think in their Gauss mode they'll be able to shut those down. That Gauss lets them hit shots a little bit more accurately, especially against faster moving targets. Fiends, blitzes, anything like that. Lightning turret's pretty good. The constructor here taking the heat. Not sure if that's what we want per se, but it is nice, I guess. It's going to keep that turret nice and healthy. Yep, those Janus is hurt. This is nice, though. We do have res bots included in this composition. Did we go for a rear bot lab, or where are these coming from? I have no idea where these res bots came from. However, it's excellent that they're in this composition regardless of where they came from. Maybe they were handed over by a teammate. Maybe they were built early on in the game. Just eating up some of those plants and trees and stuff. Who could say? It's unfortunate to see them lost, though. That is a strategic asset down the drain. This is nice, though. We're jumping on top of this forward vehicle lab here. If we can shut down the vehicle production, that's going to be quite nice for denying the enemy a little bit of control over here. Taking down the build power, always lovely. Those Januses are so powerful. In the end, I don't think... Oh, well, there we go. I was going to say I don't think there's enough firepower, but artillery will come in at the end of the day and save the day here as they rain down the firepower needed to shut down that T1 vehicle lab. Oh, this hurts. Nazah is now dealing with a massive force behind him. Those are T2 lightning tanks. So much damage comes out of the nozzle of those bad boys, shocking away at anything clustered together here. Nazah is in quite a bit of trouble. These blitzers are looking to make a run around the back of the map. Well, some of them are. It looks like these ones are routed a little differently, actually. The lightning tanks and the blitzes here, though, are going to try and make it all the way into the backline. Already starting up some beamer turrets. That's very nicely done. These also serve as sort of landmines. These energy converters, if they get a little too close, those energy converters will pop and they can do quite a bit of damage. I'm liking the hold up north for the red team quite a bit better than I'm liking the hold down south, but of course that's because it's just Nazah down here. Nazah is now dealing with Raiko to his north, Screwish to his south, as well as whatever else leaks out of the backline here from the purple player, Chisato. That's not a very fun position here. Hounds are going to be tasked with cleaning this mess up. Excellently done by Bar AI to make sure to, you know, help out his teammate. do the very best he can. Beamer turrets also not to be underestimated here as they burst down. Oh, that was very close to a chain reaction. As those beamer turrets burst down a lot of those blitzes here, and eventually this will actually be cleaned up nicely. I really thought that would have done a lot more damage. Can't believe these metal extractors stayed up here. That's interesting. Hounds are eventually going to clean all this up. A lone lightning unit here. And down he will go. Ooh, a little bit of friendly fire kills the constructor, but that's all right because the lightning tank is a little bit more important to kill. Hounds on this side as well, also pestering each other. They're firing back and forth. Hound versus Hound is a bit of an interesting matchup. It's very difficult to disengage in that matchup because they are both a long-range unit, and if you don't have any radar, they're just staring at each other from well within attack range. They can see a lot less far out than they can actually shoot. So if two Hounds encounter each other in the night, they are going to have a hard time disengaging from each other. That is, unless both players want to disengage, which is a possibility. I guess Nizah has seized his moment here. He realizes that now is the time. He's going to start moving his way up this hill. There are light laser towers up here, and they're going to blast down at least one of these tanks, making it semi-inconvenient to push up this hill, but those Janices just do so much damage, especially against static defenses, too. Yeah, they really, really rock this world. And down go a whole lot of that static defense here. You can see those Janices still recharging their missiles, but every time they fire, it's just death and destruction. This is what I'm talking about, though. These units are going to cut off these units that went up north here, so it was always going to be a sacrifice to push these units up here. He really doesn't want to go in when those Janices are charged. If you take a hit to the face from those Janices, even the T2 units, the Hounds or Sheldons or basically anything, those Janices still hurt. Spybots in the mixture here, that's what we just saw detonate right there, paralyzing a couple of these. It's going to allow some of those T1 units to get a more efficient trade. It's one of the few comeback mechanics that's really openly available to basically anyone at any point in the game. Well, anyone at T2 at any point in the game. You just get a couple of those Spybots out and you're going to be able to do quite a lot of... well, you're not going to be able to do a lot of damage with them, but you're going to open up the opportunities for a lot of damage. This is a lot of ticks. Looks like Fonzie is going for the patented build T1 until you die strategy. However, he's being hard countered here. Captain Brada is the perfect hard counter to a lot of ticks, the lightning tank. It has that chain reaction AoE, and it doesn't do a lot of damage on the chain reaction, but certainly it does enough to justify killing a bunch of ticks. Even the Hounds, though, are not bad, and the Pawns as well, incorporated into this mixture as sort of a buffer, if you will. That's a dangerous force pushing forward. I really don't like what SPM Fonzie is going for. The biggest of Fonzies here is unfortunately still on T1, and I don't think that's really where he wants to be. I think I make a comment about that in chat somewhere. Anyways, so we're going up to T2 in the backline here, just building a lot of these T1s. Well, they are the advanced solar panels. They're like the T1.5 solar panels, I guess. But building a lot of those, and that's not bad at all. There's some static defense still zapping away over here. These turrets take a whole lot less damage when they're cloaked and they're covered up. They're disguised, I guess. Not really cloaked so much as they're disguised. That's funny. Commander Death made a little bridge right here. I think that's what I'm pointing out. This is a dangerous push of units here. Those Hounds accompanied by the Pawns. The Pawns really cement this, right? Those Hounds could get jumped on by the ticks, by anything else. The lightning tanks also are phenomenal. They're just doing they're doing the same job as the Pawns, but they're just doing it that much more effectively, right? You can see those ticks melting away every time that one of these tanks fires. Yeah, it's a bad trade right here. Blue tanks are going to wrap around from behind, though, so they could definitely get a decent engagement. They're going to be engaging mostly with the Hounds rather than the lightning tanks, and that's really exactly where you want to use these. You're not going to take a great trade against the lightning tanks here with T1 medium tanks, but you might take a decent trade against the Hounds if you get them right on top of each other and you can sustain firepower. Attempting a big breakthrough over here with some of these lightning tanks, but that's a lot of Hounds that were pumped out by Bar AI, and he's using them well. He's got them in Gauss mode, which is just what you want for those lightning tanks. Well, he's got most of them in Gauss mode anyway. Sort of a mixed bag. Not as efficient a trade as I would have liked to see, though. Maybe a couple of welders in the mix right here might have been good for providing just a little bit of a health buffer. But it doesn't matter, as the lightning tanks have already pierced into Big Fonzie's base. Not a whole lot remains here. A bunch of T1 constructors are about to go down. Lightning tanks rather are taking down the wind fields, and it will not be long before all of the eco here for the big Fonzie will go down. This is a brutal push right through the middle of the map. Usually what we see is these matches swing, so like one side up north will go and one side down south will go. But nope, just right through the middle this time. Looks like all of the hounds are going to continue to do damage over here, shutting down the T1 lab, killing a whole bunch of those T1 constructors. That's basically all the build power for Fonzie. And now the wind turbines are going down as well. Things are not looking good. Of course, this is also an opportunity path that these units can use in order to harass over here. There is a cloaked metal extractor that's quite nice. Means that his metal economy is still going to be substantial-ish. Enough to at least stay in this game with the few constructors that he's got. But now the green forces are moving forward. So there's a weird attack path that's open right here because of the difference in the posturing. You can see that we're kind of posturing here for yellow and here for orange, which means that green actually has an opportunity path through in this direction. Could move those units through and probably do a little bit of damage. At the very least, it would force Nizat to retreat off of this front line, and it would be really difficult to hold while dealing with a incursion in his back line. Do we have any retreating forces? We do. Up north here, the hounds have vastly outnumbered this area. Looks like there was a spy bot going down. Nothing else stuns for that long there. Spy bots versus spy bots. Spy bots are quite nice here, especially included in the mixture with these hounds. It's going to allow them to fire at their real potential. They're going to be able to actually shoot off into the distance as far as they really should be able to. Oh, nicely done. We are... Oh, that was a juicy paralyze right there. Yeah, getting a spy bot right on top of a massive cluster of these. That essentially cuts this hound army in half, and it's going to allow for a decent trade when we engage into it. Looks like the hounds down south here are going to try their very best in order to try and keep this alive. They want to save their hound brethren, but you have to keep them alive for a solid, I think it's 20 seconds or something like that. It's a massive amount of time here. Eventually those hounds will recover and they will reboot their internal systems and come back into it, but that is a difficult thing to deal with. Lack of aggression right here in the middle of the map, I do notice. We are still going up to T2 here for Pretoric, maybe. Either way, the hounds are in such vast numbers here that it's going to be really difficult to do basically anything about them. Oh, moving the commander in for a... Oh, I thought he was going to comb bomb there. He decides to go for the D-gun. Oh, yep, going to lose the commander for it. Down goes the commander. Was that trade really worth it? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. That was that's a commander down on the northern side, so especially if any T3 comes out, there's not going to be a great last-ditch effort right there. Whoa, meanwhile, massive bomber run is sent out here. It looks like it's going to be targeting the advanced geo? No, actually. It's going to be targeting the backline here. Going to go after the windmills. Going to go after the energy converters here. Yeah, not bad. It's going to spare a lot of these bombers, too. Oh, they find the advanced fusion reactor that was coming up in the backline here for Bar AI. Don't get it on their first run. Stormbringers are, let's just put it this way. They're not very good at single target damage. They're very good at dispersing wide fields of fire. They can carpet bomb a whole lot more effectively than the Cortex bombers, which are much more pinpointed and strategic. Which is interesting. It feels like it should be the other way around, just based on Cortex or on Armada's kind of principles. But anyway. Going to take down all of these as well. The advanced geo should definitely have been a target here. The fighters will swoop in time, though, to save this. And Captain Panda is going to make a air transition here. Very nice. That's one of those skills that you develop, and I think is indicant of a very, very experienced player, is their ability to transition in and out of different roles based on their team's needs. Meanwhile, somebody on the red team has left the game. It was the light pink player here who was playing in the center of the map, who has now been completely overrun. At this point, yeah, Nizat is holding the line, but this is not looking good. There's quite a lot of units pushing forward. Now, there is a lot of hounds to guard everything from Bar AI in the back here. His economy just got demolished. He doesn't have any unit production up and running right now, but he does have the units remaining, and so I think these might be able to hold the line. Yeah, there's a little bit of a high ground that they can hold here in order to shut this down. EMP. Looks like Captain Panda has a plan. He sends in the EMP bombers. He's going to try and stun all these. That's excellently done. There's no reason to take a slightly inefficient trade over here when you can just back off, let your EMP bombers come in, and take a way more efficient trade later on. Excellently done. Wonderful posturing. That's really what we like to see. Nice engagement right here. The high ground helping out, but also those EMP bombers just coming in so clutch. Saving the day here, turning what could have been a really dangerous incursion into a somewhat minor inconvenience. A medium inconvenience, if you will. All of the production is right here on the front here for our hero row. Hero row. Slowly pushing out the rovers here. Interesting. Sending a spy bot forward. Oh, a little bit premature on that detonation. It is going to shut down the push here a little bit, though. Kind of discourages it, I guess, more than shut down. But I mean, if these units are just going to sit here and take the hits. Sniper slowly moving forward. The sniper creep is real. Ooh, that's really nice. That is beautifully done. You can see me. I was watching this even. Excellently done. Paralyzes all of the super expensive units right here. Juicy. And that is going to be an excellent trade. Wow. Yeah, that was really nicely done. Captain Panda doing an excellent job of being where he needs to be around the map here. Captain Panda is sending out 2 nuclear bombers. They're up north here, and they're on their way around the world. These units are just idle right here. Don't understand why. Screwish hitting a little bit of an APM stall, it appears. Nuclear bombers targeting down some of the structures over there. They do manage to make it out alive, both of them, though, and they are going to go after this Geo, right? This is a Geo? Yeah. Oh, no. They're thinking about it at the very least, but not quite able to hit that shot. Oh, takes the SAM to the face, but is not dissuaded. Takes out the advanced Geo. This one's coming in. It's going to try and go for the advanced fusion. Need 2 of them to kill the advanced fusion, so he's not going to be able to pop that. But that is still a dangerous amount of units marching its way towards it. Yep. You can see Sabotai has already started pushing the hounds in here at the signal from those nuclear bombers marching or flying forward rather, and is going to try and snipe this base. We have Marauders still running by on the southern side here, going to go after the base of Nizah. The hounds have gotten over here, wanted to show this. In glorious 0.5 speed. Pop goes the base. Boom. Meanwhile, down south, you know, I undercounted those beamers here, but they're actually whittling down those Marauders very nicely. Yeah, you know what? They actually held the line. EMP bombers also included here, although they're missing a lot of their bombs, but that's okay. Eventually they'll hit one of them, and that's all it really takes here. Wow, I'm really surprised. I thought the Marauder Rush would have completely decimated all of the economy back here. But actually, Nizam manages to hold on with just a handful of beamer turrets and a positive attitude. With the green player out of the game here, Aphis Mac, that's going to be a large amount of resources that are no longer flowing into the green team's pockets. You can see that indicated by the red team versus the blue team metal income here. Red team hovering around, I think they're more, wow, well, they're shooting up to 1,000 when they're reclaiming here. That's very nice, but hovering around 500 where the blue team is lingering closer to 400. That economic advantage is eventually going to press itself firmly. Mausers get jumped on here by a bunch of ticks and a bull, and it's essentially no more and no less than exactly what you need to shut down that little bush there. Very nicely done. Nizah doing an extremely efficient job of using his resources here. A bunch of ticks were made. That is interesting. How were those made, and how did they get over here is the question. Nuclear bombers to shut down Marauders. It's a bit overkill, but it certainly works, and it does it quite quickly. It's a very convenient way of shutting down Marauders. Not sure at all how these ticks managed to cross the water gap here. There must have been some explosion or something that pushed aside the land and made a little bridge for these these ticks to cross here. But either way, they are gumming up the network here of Nazah, and they walk right into a bull, which does a ton of AoE damage. Definitely not where you want them. Commander can also burst them down with its laser. All right, well, the ticks are dead. So we have Marauders right here in the middle of the map. We have nuclear bombers right here in the northern middle of the map. And we have a clash that's imminent, I do believe. Yep, here they go. Bombers going to target whatever they need to shut down that T3 production facility. Very, very expensive to lose. That's a very satisfying pattern, too. There's some ace pilots right there. Nazah starting to fret about the 1 versus 3, but he's been holding this for quite a while here. And in fact, pushing back quite nicely. The Bulls managing to shut down that static defense. They tear down the pit bull. The artillery is going to be able to take down the beamer, as well as this hero Janus that is saved from the early game. What an impressive showing down south here. Just needs to reclaim all of this, and he's going to be in a phenomenal position. I think he is going to. Yep, has the resbot out, going to start reclaiming. The blue team calls for the surrender vote as the northern side has completely caved. All this static defense was broken through. Now the Tigers are pushing on through, starting to weave their way into the back lines here. You can see that the red player Rowe has already collapsed on John Hunter's base. He's shut down the fusion reactor, shut down, all of the unit production here. Had a delicious beef and broccoli earlier. Got to keep up the gains. That's what it's all about. Yeah, every one of these trades is not great for Nazah. However, he's the only one reclaiming. Well, I guess I say that right as I'm watching a bunch of resbots eat up the corpses here. But I think overall he's been able to reclaim quite a lot more. Some I think it's just single nuclear bomber takes out the advanced geo up here, pops everything on top there. Nazah letting out an exclamation of triumph. Nicely done. Northern side has disintegrated by this point, and the blue team decides to tap in. In under 30 minutes, we've already scaled all the way up to a proper T3 game. Collapsed one of the sides, punched through the middle. Nuclear bombers came out in swarms. God, I love watching the pros. They really know how to do it all, don't they? Sabotage winning the golden cow for doing everything, but those nuclear bombers were so nice. And huge props to Nazah for holding that southern flank for so long. Thought he was going to be dead for quite a few times there, but these beamer turrets really showcasing their strength. What an excellent match. Really gets me excited whenever I'm watching these pros play. Hope you enjoyed today. Don't forget about that 1v1 tournament. It's a series of tournaments that's going to be going on all through September. Feel free to go check out Barcast TV. Great commentator caster, covers 1v1 stuff. Definitely going to give you a sense of how strong these players are coming up in that tournament. Anyways, this has been the Brightworks, and I do hope you enjoy. I will see you in the very next video. Peace out, folks.